This was something, man. This was something. Hiya. Hello and welcome to another That's Just Joe video. My name's Joe and that's about it, but that's not about it. We're here to talk about the final of Doctor Who, the reality war. Ncuti Gatwa has left the TARDIS, quite literally. Bye. But yeah, let's get into what happened. And I just want to say, Ncuti, you're definitely not watching this. You're doing your own thing, but thank you. You were an amazing Doctor, and I think you're going to be remembered for quite a while. Charming, sexy, and just overall fun and hopeful and joyful, especially. So yeah, cheers. Cheers, dude. Well, we've all read about it. We all watched it. And this is the first bit of Doctor Who content I was about to say I've done in a while, but I obviously did my 20 years video, and it was nice looking back at the past 20 years of New Who. But here we are with the future of Doctor Who, which is in complete limbo. I am honestly shocked by the ending of that last episode of season 2. I have to say season 2 has actually been really good. It's been a really good season. I've really enjoyed it. My favourite episode was Lux. That was my favourite episode of Doctor Who in a while. I thought it was really, really good. So fair play to them on that. And I think the whole production design and everything is great. But Ncuti Gatwa leaving Doctor Who and this being a surprise regeneration, and we'll get to who he regenerates into in a bit. But it was a little bit of... it wasn't really a shock because there were many, many rumours and leaks happening on Twitter, obviously. Bloody Twitter. Now, I have to categorically say that this was not the plan. This was not the plan. There is no way the intention was for him to regenerate at the end of this episode. As soon as he steps into that TARDIS at the end, in the last 10 minutes of the episode, when he has to go and shift the time vortex and find Poppy and everything, it's like it was leading into season 3. Like season 3 was going to be about finding Poppy and maybe meeting a grown-up version of Poppy that he goes traveling with as his new companion. And then supposedly, I guess Ncuti would have left, doing the 3-season rule sort of thing. There is no way those last 10 to 15 minutes were part of the original shoot. There is no way. This was redone. This was rushed. It was... Ncuti was getting out of there. Now, I'm not here to absolutely batter Russell T Davies. I'm not a writer. I'm not a showrunner. I do not know how hard it is to make the show. I bet it's an absolute nightmare. But when you come out and say, before the first season, before the 60th specials, that this is to invite new fans in, and my wife is wanting to be a new fan and comes into the show and is absolutely choked with nostalgia and callbacks and just some really bad storytelling. Yeah, there's a problem. There is a real problem with the show, and I am one of those people that thinks it needs a rest. A lot of people are going to say, well, you're not a Doctor Who fan if you think it needs a rest. No, it needs a rest. It needs new showrunners. It needs new writers. It needs new ideas. I think Doctor Who is missing its scare factor, and also what made it so special was how sort of grounded the New Who show was. So when it came back in 2005, it was that grounded feeling, and the actors were so good in it, and the storytelling was so well done, but it was like a soap opera but in space, and that's how it was always described those early days. And and then you had Stephen Moffat come in and give his own take, but it was a proper twist. Like, it was more fantastical. It was a bloke running around, traveling through time and space and getting caught up in wars, and obviously running into his own past. And then you get to Capaldi, and it's about who is he anymore. He's been so many faces. Just really interesting character stuff. And then you get to Jodie's tenure, and I have to say, it was so good seeing her in this scene. Again, this was a reshoot. There is no way this was the original intention. This was a rushed reshoot. I'm just saying. But it was so good to see her. It really was. But also, why is she there? Like, why does she need to be there? Is it so Ncuti can bounce off someone in terms of explaining why he's regenerating? Because he doesn't really explain it to the companions and unit before he gets into the TARDIS and everything. He's just like, you know, I can do it. I'm the last of the Time Lords. I can shift the time vortex. And as soon as he's in here, he's like, right, got to change my face. And it's like, what is going on? But it was great to see her again. But again, her tenure is when I kind of fell off, and it's nothing to do with her. I think Jodie Whittaker is an amazing actor, and I think her Doctor is so charming and bubbly and just exciting, and to be the first woman to play the Doctor is just so great. But she was let down by the storylines and everything, and I didn't like the direction the show was going. And, you know, I didn't go online and say this is the worst thing ever. I just kind of switched off. And then I caught up eventually. And I enjoyed her last episode, The Power of the Doctor. I thought it was a really great episode. And then you have David Tennant come back. And I thought that was a really smart move, bringing Tennant back to kind of introduce new fans into the universe. And then you introduce Ncuti and you kind of hit the reboot button. Instead, a year and a half later, they've hit the reshoot button and got rid of him. He's definitely left on his own accord. There's no way he's been fired. There was something in The Sun about the reason he's leaving is because he didn't do the Eurovision thing because of what's happening, in the world at the moment. There's just it's nothing to do with that. Ncuti decided to leave, and he had many, many reasons for it. Not just because he was Mr. Hollywood and he was getting offered perfume adverts and all that. There were many reasons for why he left so early. He was going to do season 3. That was going to happen, but unfortunately it's not. Now, the biggest thing, obviously, now is what is the future of Doctor Who? Like, where are we going with the show? Russell T Davies is still the showrunner. There is no doubt about that. The TARDIS is still standing in Badwell Studios. We have the War Between the Land and the Sea TV show coming out at the end of this year, supposedly. I think it's time to mute Doctor Who for a bit. Let's get some new creatives in. Let's get some new story ideas in. Let's get give it a whole new lease of life. And the Billie Piper thing, I don't even care about it. I was so shocked when I saw it, and there was obviously rumours not long before the episode aired that she was going to be the next Doctor, and lo and behold she is. But that's not my main concern, because I don't think she is the next Doctor. I think she is the TARDIS, and the reason I say I think she's the TARDIS, during Ncuti's regeneration we have what looks like a very cool shot of a dark, empty TARDIS. But to me, that screams the TARDIS is not there. And the TARDIS is actually regenerating through the 15th Doctor. And again, he disappears completely there, and Billie Piper appears. And I turned to my wife when this happened, and she just went, I don't know anymore. I don't know. Doctor Who is one of those shows that just gets weirder and weirder, and that's why I love the show. It surprises you, it shocks you. When Jodie turned into David Tennant, I knew that was going to happen. I think a lot of people knew, and it was still a shock, but I understood the reasoning for it. But to go from David to Ncuti to Billie. And yes, it's full circle for New Who. It's going back to series 1. I just think it's not right. I just think it's really weird. It was nice to have a surprise regeneration for the first time, bar David's. But again, I think a lot of people kind of got to that he was going to be between 13 and 15. Sorry. Oh, God, there's so many Doctors now. But the show needs a refresh. I definitely enjoyed this season way more. Again, Lux is my favourite episode of New Who in a long time, and that's including Jodie and Peter's time as the Doctor. But it's a weird one, man. It's a weird one. They're gonna have to reboot it. They need to do something different. I really thought Russell was gonna save the day with Doctor Who. And I thought the 60th specials were great. And I even went to the screening for the first one, and Russell was there talking about the future of Doctor Who, and it was really exciting to hear. And also for the man himself to say, you don't have to rely on the past to go and watch these. Bullshit. You do. Omega. bloody, you can argue in series 1 the Daleks are introduced, but they're really introduced very, like substantial to his background in terms of the Time War and everything, is where we meet Chris's Doctor. And Sutekh is more like, hey, he was in this 4th Doctor episode, which you can watch on BBC iPlayer right now. Are you not in the UK? I can't watch it. It was weird. And then Omega, the Rani, I was really disappointed in this final. I don't think it was as bad as Empire of Death. I can categorically say that. I just think there was a lot wrong, not just with this final, but I think there's a lot wrong with the show at the moment, and it needs a little restart, needs a little bump. Something needs to change. But yeah, thanks for watching. Sorry this is more of a rant and everything. I didn't really want to be ranting about it, but yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm done with the show like a lot of people are doing. I think there's a lot of overreaction to what's going on. I just think the BBC and Bad Wolf and potential other buyers need to look at the show and go, right, what do we do next? Like, what can we do to save Doctor Who? Because right now it's not looking good. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked the video. Make sure you comment below, talk about what did you think about the final season of Doctor Who, potentially for a while. Shooty's regeneration to Billy Piper. What did you think of the last 2 seasons of Doctor Who? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like the video. It really helps me out. And subscribe to the channel for more Doctor Who and comic book movie content like this. See ya. Every Doctor Who YouTube content maker does a sonic screwdriver to the camera. They do.